Day 3 of training camp in Chicago is officially in the books. And while a lot of folks may be out enjoying their 3-day weekend, the action at Hollis Hall is heating up. And we've got plenty to talk about. The pads might not be on just yet, but don't let that fool you. The intensity's been climbing, and today finally offered a few much-needed signs of life. From the Bears' first-team offense. After a rough start to camp, we saw Caleb Williams and company begin to push through the early rust and string together some moments worth building on. Now coming into the day, the storyline had been pretty one-sided. The defense was flying around, dominating reps and keeping Caleb and his receivers out of sync. There was a lot of stop and start, some misfires, a few drops, and really not much to hang your hat on offensively. But training camp is about progression, and finally today we got a glimpse of that. It wasn't perfect, far from it, but there was movement in the right direction. Let's break it down, starting with the first full team periods. In those opening eleven sessions where they weren't working in specific game situations, but more general down and distance spots on the field, one name jumped off the page: Montez Sweat. The guy was a problem from the jump. He beat Darnell Wright clean at least once, probably twice, and completely blew up plays before they even had a chance to develop. One play in particular forced Caleb to just chuck it away, while another likely would have ended with the quarterback on the turf. That kind of disruption, even without pads, speaks volumes about what Sweat brings to this defense. But here's the thing. It's worth noting, as always, that defensive linemen have a natural edge early in camp, especially before contact is fully allowed. Without pads, offensive linemen can't establish leverage, can't deliver the same kind of punch, and that tilt tends to favor rushers like Sweat. We've seen this story before. Think about Dominique Robinson. Always flash during OTA letters, then fades once the real hitting starts. So yes, Montez looked great, but let's keep that in context. Still, the offense wasn't totally flat. Caleb managed to hit Olamide Zaccos on a smooth rollout. A classic bootleg to the right off play action with Zaccos dragging across from the backside. It wasn't flashy, probably went for 7 or 8 yards. But it was clean, decisive, and well executed. Sometimes that's more important than the big plays. Speaking of which, Caleb did unleash what many are calling his best throw of camp so far. A gorgeous deep crosser to Rome Odunze that covered around 25 yards in the air. That's the kind of ball that gets clipped, edited, and posted by the team's social media staff with the caption "QB1 things," and for good reason. It was a strike. Odunze tracked it perfectly. Caleb put it where only he could get it, and you could feel the energy lift a bit after that connection. The first-team offense has needed a moment like that to build confidence, and maybe this was it. Still, consistency remained an issue. The offense was better, but not great. There were flashes. That's the best way to put it. The 3-team periods were a bit of a roller coaster. Caleb made some throws, but the rhythm just wasn't sustained. There was choppiness, some miscommunication, and plenty of plays where the defense had the upper hand. And then came the red zone work. Always a spotlight segment at any practice, and for good reason. You want to see how your quarterback performs when the field shrinks, when decisions need to be quicker and the windows are tighter. Unfortunately, the first red zone sequence was, in a word, brutal. 5 plays, 0 completions, and 2 interceptions. Let's walk through it. Play 1, Caleb finds Zaccos again wide open on a hitch over the middle. Hits him square in the hands. Drop. No excuses, just a drop. Play to a tougher ball to Cole Kmet in traffic. Hits him in the hands, but he's contested and can't haul it in. That's one of those gray area throws. Statisticians might not call it a drop, but Kmet would probably tell you he should have come down with it. Third play, a fade attempt to Odunze in the corner. According to reports, there was a decent amount of jersey grabbing, maybe even a borderline pass interference, but no flag. Incomplete again. Now it's play for, and things go from bad to worse. Caleb tries to fit one into a tight window. It's tipped at the line, pops up into the air, and is picked off by Jaquan Brisker. At this point, the energy is flat. Fifth play, Caleb forces another ball over the middle, and this time it's intercepted by TJ Edwards. That's the picks in 5 plays, 0 completions, and a very bad taste in everyone's mouth. You just can't have that kind of breakdown in the red zone. It's one thing to miss throws or have timing off. It's camp after all, but turning the ball over in that area of the field is always a red flag. Yes, you can't catch it for the receivers, but those 2 interceptions, those are on the quarterback. The entire sequence felt sloppy and out of sync, and at that point, it looked like the practice might spiral. Thankfully, it didn't end there. The coaches gave the starters another red zone series later in practice, and this time things looked much better for plays and to touchdowns. Play 1, a back shoulder attempt to DJ Moore near the front pylon, but Tyreek Stevenson was all over it, knocked it away cleanly. Play 2, a handoff to Roshan Johnson that went nowhere. The defense clogged the middle and he was stuffed immediately. But then play 3, redemption. Caleb hit O'Duns on a cross right on the money for a touchdown. Quick decision, good placement, and finally a payoff. Play 4 was even better. Caleb worked through multiple reads, stayed patient in the pocket, and fired a laser to Zaccos in the back of the end zone. Tight window, heavy traffic, perfect ball. Just like that to touchdowns and for plays, and the offense had finally strung together something worth celebrating. That momentum carried right into the final segment of the day. A 20-minute drill for the starters. This was about working the clock, moving the ball quickly, and trying to get into field goal range. And while it wasn't flawless, it was efficient. They ran 8 plays and ended the drive with a successful field goal. The highlights: a short completion to O'Duns to get things moving. Then Caleb escaped the rush, found Adree Swift on a check down, but Swift dropped it. Next play, Caleb took off, found a lane, took it himself, and ripped off a massive 4-yard scramble, with blockers leading the way. That's the kind of play that reminds you why he went first overall. He followed that up with a crisp out route to Zaccos, then another drop by Swift. This one stung because apparently it would have gone for big yardage. Then came a false start from Aussie rookie Trapilo, the only real blemish on the offensive line in that sequence. Caleb rebounded immediately, rolling to his left and delivering a strike to Devin Duvernay, who finally got his name called with a big gain. One more short completion to Zaccos and boom, they were in range to kick it through. So yeah, was it perfect? No, there were still drops, still some timing issues. But that 20-minute drive felt like progress. Felt like a unit finally starting to click under pressure. And more importantly, it felt like Caleb Williams settling in and taking charge. Now, while all eyes are understandably on the starters, you can't ignore what's happening on the depth chart, particularly with J.P. Richardson. This kid just keeps making plays. It's been that way since Otis when he made that insane one-handed catch. And it's continued every step of the way. Today, multiple grabs again. At one point, he was working with Tyson Bagent and the third-team offense, and those two connected on back-to-back plays. It's becoming a pattern. Wherever JP goes, the ball seems to follow. And it's not just fluky practice hero stuff either. Richardson is showing consistent hands, route precision, and an ability to find space, even when working with limited reps. Now we do have to add context. Tyson Bagent was facing the third-string defense, so the competition level is obviously different from what Caleb's dealing with. But even with that, you've got to recognize performance. If Richardson keeps this up, he's got a real shot to not only land on the practice squad, but maybe even sneak onto the final roster. Don't be shocked if he gets punt return opportunities during the preseason too. He's got experience there from his college days at TCU and could add value in special teams. Now, before we wrap this chunk, a quick injury update. Jalen Johnson is expected to miss about a month. That's the latest based on whispers from insiders. The team is officially saying a few weeks, but a few can mean anything from 2 to 4, and if we're being honest, this sounds like it's closer to the latter. So don't expect to see Jalen during the preseason or in joint practices with Miami or Buffalo. If all goes well, the hope is that he's back around 2 weeks before the opener against the Vikings, just in time to gear up for Justin Jefferson. Big ask, but if anyone can be ready with minimal ramp-up, it's Jalen. As the day went on, the energy around Hollis Hall shifted subtly but noticeably. The Bears' offense, after their shaky start, appeared to find a better groove. It wasn't as if they suddenly became a finely tuned machine, but there were moments that hinted at something more promising than the previous days. Coaches seemed a bit more animated on the sidelines, players were more communicative, and even the media presence around the practice field picked up a little. You could tell everyone was waiting for the offense to break free of its early struggles, and today was the first step toward that. One of the main reasons for this uptick in momentum was Caleb Williams' improved command of the offense. There were flashes of poise and decisiveness that we hadn't seen much of yet. It's important to remember that Williams is still in the very early stages of adjusting to an NFL speed and complexity that even the best college quarterbacks struggle with. The NFL isn't just faster. It's fundamentally different, from the way defenses disguise coverages to the pressure they bring from all angles. Still, Caleb showed moments of sharpness that suggested he's starting to get comfortable calling plays, making pre-snap reads, and executing under pressure. One standout moment came when the Bears were running a 7-on-7 drill against the second-team defense. It was a critical third down, and the offense needed to convert to keep their drive alive. Caleb scanned the field, stepped up in the pocket, and fired a precise throw to DJ Moore on a crossing route just inside the numbers. Moore caught it cleanly and turned upfield for a nice gain. It was a textbook play that showed Caleb's ability to read coverage and deliver the ball accurately under duress. The entire unit seemed to respond well, and the coaches nodded approvingly from the sidelines. DJ Moore has been a key figure for the offense all camp. His route running and reliable hands have made him a go-to target for Caleb, especially as the young quarterback continues to build chemistry with the receiving corps. Moore's experience and savvy have been crucial not just in catching balls, but also in helping the younger receivers get open and stay on the same page with Williams. We saw several instances where Moore helped reset a route or adjusted his positioning subtly to create separation. That kind of veteran presence is invaluable for a young quarterback's growth. Another player who kept turning heads was Rome Odunze. His speed and agility are undeniable, and today he made several tough catches in traffic. One particular play saw Odunze shake off a defender on a quick out route and haul in a low throw from Caleb, then turn it upfield for extra yardage before getting tackled. His ability to create yards after the catch was on full display and gives the Bears a dynamic weapon who can stretch the field vertically and force defenses to adjust their game plans. Meanwhile, on the offensive line, there was more evidence of improvement, especially from Darnell Wright. After struggling early against Montez Sweat and the pass rush, Wright seemed to settle in and find his footing by mid-practice. He showed better hand placement and footwork, and his ability to pick up blitzes improved noticeably. Wright's growth is key to the entire offense's success because Caleb's mobility is fantastic. But a young quarterback still needs time to throw. If Wright and the rest of the line can provide a consistent pocket, the offense's ceiling rises exponentially. Roshan Johnson, the Bears' promising young running back, also got some good work today. The running game hasn't been a big focal point in early camp drills, mostly due to the emphasis on timing and passing routes, but Johnson found some success on a couple of inside runs. His quickness through the holes and willingness to lower his shoulder on contact stood out. It's clear the Bears want to use him as a multi-dimensional threat, not just as a rusher, but also as a receiver out of the backfield. Today, Johnson showed glimpses of that potential, catching a couple of screen passes and turning upfield with some authority. That versatility will be vital for the Bears as they look to diversify their offense and keep defenses guessing, of course. It's impossible to discuss this practice without mentioning the defense. While the offense was making strides, the defense was still applying heavy pressure and forcing mistakes. The defensive line was relentless, with Montez Sweat continuing to wreak havoc even late into practice. He recorded several more pressures on Caleb, forcing hurried throws and disrupting timing routes. Sweat's ability to collapse the pocket quickly is a major asset for the Bears, and the offense knows it will have to adjust and improve to protect the quarterback better. Yaquan Brisker was another defensive player who shined today. His instincts in coverage and ability to jump routes led to multiple pass breakups and that earlier interception in the red zone. Brisker's presence in the secondary is a calming influence for the defense, and his knack for being around the ball makes him a constant threat. Whether he's shadowing a tight end or dropping into zone coverage, Brisker's impact is felt across the field. The linebackers were active too, with TJ Edwards leading the way. Edwards showed good awareness on blitzes and tackled with aggression and run support. He was also involved in that second red zone interception, which underscored his ability to make big plays when it counts. The linebackers' leadership and physicality anchor the defense, and their performance today reinforce why this unit has been so effective in camp. Special teams also deserve a quick mention. The punting unit looks solid, with the rookie punter showing poise and hang time that suggests he could challenge for the starting role. Kickoff coverage was sound, and returners like J.P. Richardson continued to impress with their vision and speed. The Bears know special teams can make or break close games, so the continued progress there is encouraging. As the session wrapped up, it was clear that the Bears are still a work in progress. The offense has shown enough signs of life to excite fans, but it's still a long road ahead. The drops and miscommunications can't be overlooked, and the team will need to refine timing and chemistry before the regular season. The defense remains a steady force, and its ability to create turnovers and pressure will be critical in keeping the Bears competitive. Looking forward, the Bears will enter the next phase of training camp with a renewed focus on communication and execution. The coaches will likely emphasize timing routes, red zone efficiency, and offensive line cohesion. For Caleb Williams, the goal is to continue building confidence and comfort in the offense while minimizing risky throws and turnovers. For the defense, maintaining relentless pressure and tightening coverage will remain priorities. In all, today's practice felt like a step in the right direction. The offense isn't there yet, but it's closer than it was. The defense continues to set the tone and special teams are quietly improving, with more pads and full contact sessions on the horizon. It will be fascinating to see how these trends develop and which players rise to the occasion. The Chicago Bears are hungry to turn this promising start into tangible results on the field, and based on today's work, they have reason to believe it's possible. The journey is far from over, but the foundation is being laid, and that's what matters most right now. As training camp progresses, the hope is that these early signs of growth translate into a more consistent and explosive offense complemented by a defense that remains disruptive and opportunistic. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears. And don't be shy, drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Whispers are growing louder in NFL circles. Tyreek Hill, the electrifying Miami Dolphins wide receiver, was spotted in Chicago earlier this weekend. The city is buzzing with speculation. Could the Bears be gearing up for a blockbuster move that would shake up the entire NFC? While nothing has been confirmed officially, sources close to both camps suggest that Chicago might be quietly exploring the possibility of bringing the All-Pro wideout to the Windy City. Hill's presence in town has already sparked a frenzy among fans and insiders alike, especially as the Bears continue to make aggressive moves in reshaping their roster. It's no secret that Chicago is on the hunt for a true game-changer to elevate their offense. After bolstering their defense in the draft and addressing key areas on the offensive line, a dynamic weapon like Hill could be the final piece in transforming the Bears from a rebuilding squad into a legitimate playoff contender. Imagine the speed and versatility Hill would bring to an offense already led by a promising young quarterback. With his unmatched acceleration and ability to stretch the field, the Bears could suddenly possess one of the most dangerous receiving corps in the conference. Skeptics point out that Miami has given no clear indication of wanting to part ways with their star. But stranger things have happened in the NFL. Contract restructures behind the scenes, tensions, or even long-term vision changes could open the door for a surprise trade. For now, it's all rumor and speculation, but in a league where smoke often leads to fire, Hill's Chicago visit is hard to ignore. Whether it was business pleasure or something in between, his presence has already ignited a new wave of hope among Bears fans. If Chicago pulls this off, the balance of power in the NFC might shift faster than Tyreek Hill in open space. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Chicago Bears, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.